What's inside this one? Don't know. Let's find out, because it's a package from China! Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video, we're going to take a close look at the SN30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad. It's a gamepad that we can actually use for a lot of different systems. Switch, Windows, Android, Apple, Steam content. There is so much that we can actually do. However, this is a very nice multifunctional controller. You can even see that it also supports Raspberry Pi. So, but this video, we're going to be checking it on the PlayStation, where it is not going to be like the ultimate, let's say, form factor of PlayStation. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You can buy this dongle separately, and I would not be surprised if you can even get this in different kind of variations. And I mean, particularly when it comes to when it comes actually to, let's say, different, let's say, systems. We're just going to be plugging it in and just do a quick review on this controller, and it is worth it. So, however, like I can tell you already, I did some 8bitdo controllers in the past. There we go. And the overall controller quality is also surprisingly good. I also have different kind of variations when it comes to 8bitdo, the SN systems, or the SN, let's say, versions. But this is more like a Super Nintendo look. And maybe it's kind of weird to use it for a PlayStation controller, but I just wanted to see how it actually feels and how does it actually play. Of course, it's a wireless controller. It's going to be so much more, let's say, convenient to play than with a wired. However, when it comes to the D-pad, this is going to be a hit or miss with these things most of the time. The form factor of the Super Nintendo controller, I love it. We're having like these very nice long travel buttons, and the feel is great. I do wonder how the trigger will actually work with certain games. For example, Twisted Metal. Some of them, with some brands, are super sensitive and to a point that they're absolutely unplayable. USB-C over here for actually charging, and connecting button over here for reconnecting with the device. LED indication for which controller player you are. 2 joysticks and the rubberized select and start. So whether this is not like the super duper luxe controller, because there is always a bigger one with more comfort, just wanted to see if it's still worth buying. And not to forget, it also comes with a very nice flat cable design when it comes to the, let's say, Type-C. That's one of those things that I can really appreciate, giving a good cable, even if I have like boxes full of these things now. So one of the things I did notice with the dongle itself, that whoa, it is really tight. You need to like really force it in. Ugh! There's absolutely no wiggle, but yeah, this is a little bit too tight. Okay, so let's start off with some Twisted Metal 2. And one of my favorite games still to play nowadays. However, when you're looking at the SN30 Pro controller, right, this is just more like getting a Super Nintendo feel about it. I do wonder how it actually plays with the joysticks, the sensitivity, but also when it comes to the D-pad itself. Because we do have a lot of difference when it comes to different controllers. And this is thing any good when it comes to that, because sometimes it's completely messed up. Okay, so let's start off with the joystick to see how responsive it is, or how actually like sensitive. I must say that it is quite sensitive when it comes to that. What I do love about the controller are the back buttons. They're not like super sensitive that I've seen with different controller brands. Alright, let's see about the D-pad, because the resistance of this is quite important. Let's see, I can do the U-turn. Yeah, that seems to be working all fine. So what I do love about it is the D-pad. When it comes to the analog stick, it's one of those controllers I really need to get used to, and this has to do simply because of the travel of it. You can see I cannot do the U-turn somehow, and this has to do with the sensitivity. So the analog stick for this game, I don't like it. The D-pad is quite clicky, so I need to get used to it, due with the travel and the resistance. But this is something I can actually live with. So yeah, when it comes to playing games, for me it's going to be Twisted Metal. Yeah, this is absolutely one of the things I need to get used to, is the analog stick. But when it comes to the configuration, especially the triggers, this is absolutely great. They have like a great resistance. It's amazing. So next up, let's see what happens if you're going to play some fighting games, particularly when it comes to the A, B, H, Y buttons. So when it comes to the feel itself, it's absolutely amazing. Just the travel, the feel, also how round they are, the buttons. But the question remains, how will it be for playing some Tekken? So let's move on to the analog stick for this game. So for fighting games, it's just fine. Let's see, go back to the D-pad. There we go. So when you're going to play some fighting games, this is going to be great. I love the A, B, X, Y buttons. Yeah, so the SN30 Pro controller doesn't really disappoint when it comes to that. There is only one problem, or a small problem I'm having. So if you're going to be rebooting the system, it doesn't recognize the controller cell. So every single time what I need to do is pressing the connection button over here. That's quite difficult to press. And most of the time it can connect, and if you still have problems, you need to hold this button, connect it again. And then it's going to be like connected to it. It's kind of weird that every single reboot it does actually this problem. I don't know what's going on. Maybe with the firmware update we can fix it, but that is something of a little bit of an annoying thing. Another game I also wanted to check out is Descent. It's by the way one of the first game I can still remember as a child, that we have the analog controllers where I can use both of the joysticks. But somehow my second joystick isn't mapped, so we need to use the front facing buttons over here. It's not going to be a big of a deal, but you know, it's a little bit of a downside because it would be cool to utilize the second joystick for that, so we can map these for different functions. And again, it's not a big deal, but I just want to test it out if it automatically works with this. So that's kind of weird. I also checked the options over here. The full screen control pad, that can be checked out. So let's say user define. Another thing over here where you can see just showcases the normal controller. It doesn't show, so far I can see, actually the controller I want to. See, that's it. You can just change it out, but I think the second, so let's say turn left. Also this software doesn't recognize anything. So that's absolutely a little bit of a downside. Let's try it again. No. So that's just something I wanted to check out. Another thing I also noticed is that when it comes to some of the games, it's going to be a hit or miss in the end, particularly when you're looking at like the Twisted Metal. Vibration function is just working great. So love it when you're coming into the game, it vibrates like crazy. Where I find the rumble function of this controller, let's say, nice. I'm not overly dumb when it comes to some of the controllers. Oh crap! I thought it was dead. But when it comes to the, let's say, overall experience with like the flying games and the D-pad, it is absolutely amazing. I'm so surprised. And now the sensitivity of the joystick is just a positive thing, and this is to do because in this particular game you're just going to be needing the sensitivity of the joystick. Amazing, absolutely great. Oh crap, there was one turret left. Woo! The SN30 Pro controller doesn't disappoint. So when it comes to the overall quality, 8bitdo just does an amazing job when it comes to that. And also when you're looking at the configuration of the controls, everything, yeah, what I mentioned before, like the analog stick are quite sensitive, so particularly when it comes to like the configuration with the dongle, so not every game will be playable for me. However, I do love using this thing for multiple systems because this is actually what it can do. They also implemented a sticker over here with different methods. You can just connect it. You can see the X input, D input, Apple, Switch, you name it, Android. So this is like a beautiful, let's say, good high quality controller for multi-platform use. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video.